Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome back to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So, I think this is going to be the last episode on this. 1.0 is out now, so I thought it'd be a nice way to wrap things up. So I thought we'd have a look at a couple of recent games of mine since the 1.0 patch has dropped and cover a few of the things that have changed and hopefully show a little bit of my improvement over the time. So, without too much further ado, shall we jump right in? So, I say how much I've improved, but yeah, clearly I've still got a long way to go, but I thought this particular game would be a good way of showing you what I can do now compared to what I could do a couple of months ago. So, this is Miramar, as I'm sure you're aware. It's the new desert map, and this is a location I'm quite fond of to drop. It's just outside of a town. It's usually got a good bit of gear here. There's just about enough for 2 people usually. This is actually not the best start I've ever had. And we're not alone either. I should say as well that I'm using here the replay feature, which has recently been added, which does exactly what it says on the tin. It allows you to watch games back. There we go. Let's hold on the full auto fire, and fortunately that fellow only had a pistol, seeing as I had basically nothing but the Uzi. So yeah, the replay feature gives a whole load of extra information compared to the normal game, and compared even to recording your game and watching it back. But it's a really good learning tool, and for a lot of people it'd be quite cool to make content using. I mean, it's not really my style in the grand scheme. Apart from this video, I probably wouldn't choose to do it again. Just because, as you can see, you can now see every player in the area is marked with a name and a health bar, which obviously you don't get when you're playing. So it kind of throws off a little what I see, and obviously this was played in my own time rather than played specifically for video content. So it's well, it's not live commentary. Obviously, I'm chatting over the top of it. But so far, we've got some okay stuff. We've got an M16 there. We've got a crossbow, which I took mostly because I wanted a slightly longer range option, but to be honest, the M16 is probably better anyway. Fortunately, this fellow has spoiled the second part of my plan and has landed down at this compound and made off with the only vehicle, so we're going to head on to the edge of town, because our landing point is just up the hill from us here, and we'll see what we can find. So we've not actually done that badly. Level 2 backpack, level 2 helmet, level 2 armour. Could be worse. Oh look, there's a level 3 helmet in this house. That's even better. So, yeah, not the best of starts, but it's okay. There's a 4x there, that's nice. And we have a dude running off over the hill there. Not quite sure where this fella's going, but okay. So I was going to take a few pot shots there, but apparently that fella has the same idea, because there we go, he's tagged me. So as you can see from the name up in the top there, which I didn't know at the time, although I did suspect, it's the same guy I've just seen in the pickup truck trying to get away. Still at a bit of a loss why he chose to leave town in that direction. I certainly wouldn't have done, but not the fastest exit ever. Still can't see him. At least I couldn't at the time. So we're going to reposition. Hopefully throw him off. And hopefully lure him into pushing me. Which, as you can see, he has done. We just hear his footsteps now as well. So we'll give it away, and there we go. There's his head. So we'll take cover and get ready for him. Peeker's advantage and all that. If he tries to move on me at this stage, I'll see him, hopefully, lag notwithstanding, before he sees me, and there we go. So it's half himself, let's push him quickly, and finish him off before he can retaliate. Nice. And here we start to encounter one of the drawbacks to the replay system, which it does have its ups and its downs. One of the big downs, as you can see here, is that, unfortunately, whether due to server lag or just a shortcoming of the system, I don't know, but it does unfortunately do things like that, fire the gun off late and sounds don't necessarily add up. So you'll see in a bit that sometimes the crosshair just appears to be pointing in completely the wrong direction, either at the ground or miles away from where you're actually pointing it when you're playing the game, but it's not much use for improving your aim, but it does have its use strategically speaking anyway. However, we've carefully picked up a few bits of gear from that guy. We've got a Kar 98 now, and we've upgraded from the M16 to a Scar, so we're going to push on to this hut on the hill and try and take stock of things, seeing as unfortunately we don't have a vehicle, and I'm not quite sure where that fellow left his. I also forgot to go looking for it. But apparently we have a fellow up here. There we go, we just about see him, and we'll certainly see his vehicle. There we go, gotcha. Looks rather like a potato though, guy, but single fire might have been a better call there, I think. So, we got him. He didn't manage to return fire. This fellow, on the other hand, could be a problem. Very, very nearly was a problem as well. Fortunately, that level 3 helmet has just saved the day. If I'd had a level 2 there, then I think he might well have beaten me. Fortunately, we came out on top that time. As you may have noticed already, that takes us up to 4 kills in fairly quick succession. 15 minutes of gameplay. Obviously I've edited it down a fair bit. It's quite cool. At this stage we've now equalled my previous best, and yeah, I was pretty satisfied with that. So we're going to take a moment, heal up, and check where the circle's moved to, now that it's changed, which unfortunately is a little way away. However, we have this fellow's vehicle to draw upon, so we're going to jump in here and make our way over. Still a few people hanging around. Not quite sure why I chose to park there, it's not exactly the best of positions. Oh crap. Oh dear. Guy hasn't hit me, but he's done a number on my vehicle. Yeah, that annoyed me. It's scuppered most of my game now and set me on a path to eventual destruction. However, unfortunately for him, it's also set him on a path to destruction, because, yeah, potato or not, that's his game over with. Teach him for blowing up my vehicle. Unfortunately, we now have to run for the play zone, which is quite some way away, which is not helpful. And we have a fellow over here. So, let's get the Kar 98 out. Oh, he's hit the tree, fortunately. And I've nailed him in the chest, which is good. And he's not peeking again. Which was extremely infuriating, because given that I'm not a particularly good shot with a sniper rifle, I decided to switch over to the Scar and push this guy. Hopefully while he was healing. But he's firstly further away than I thought he was. I actually thought he was right on this ridge. I think in hindsight, he was actually further away. But to add insult to injury, he's also running for it. Decided this is not a fight he wants to take after all, and he's run for the hills, which is extremely annoying. There you go, you just about peek him in the distance there, which I didn't catch without the name tag in the first playthrough. He's peeked back at me, which is... I don't know. I'm not quite sure why he's chosen to peek back at me there, given that, as you'll see in just a moment, he's ultimately decided to run like hell. Which is disappointing, because as a result of chasing him, that's another nail in my coffin, unfortunately. If he'd stood his ground and fought, I'd have probably got another kill and maybe even made the play zone. A bit sooner, anyway. There you go. Fella's in the wind now. He's right over the ridge there. Obviously not having his name tag the first time to refer to. I actually had no idea where this guy was. I'm looking at the obvious cover points, the trees and the rocks and things, but there's no sign of the guy. He's just in the wind. And now I'm in the blue, which is not good. And as I say, chain of events that leads to my eventual demise. There you can see him sneaking up behind the ridge there. Which is why I couldn't see him the first time. I don't know, takes the fight, gets one shot on him, and then he runs for it. And now I have a very, very long run to attempt to make the play zone. Fortunately, I picked up a fair few heals. I did make it there. Having just dropped a med kit here inside Chimicera. We take a look in that top corner, you can see that this fellow didn't manage to outlast me despite the fact he ran. He caught up with somebody else and it finished him off. So, despite my eventual demise to the play zone, it's good to see that guy didn't last as long as I did. Cowardice did not pay off well. Anyway, so, over to Erangel. There's a few interesting bits and pieces going on here. Well, this is a very shaky start to a game. It did not go well for me. This fella's got to the roof way before I did, so I elected to land on the ground. Thought, right, I'll loot this house, grab a gun. Should be able to do something about him. Lo and behold, no gun. And people dying very quickly. Which is even more true on Miramar than it is on Erangel, but lately the number of people dying in the early games seems to have gone through the roof. Very, very quickly drops to about half people left. So I've got one grenade. And that's it. And I've mucked up the throw as well. Great. And that fella didn't even come in either. So even had I got it right, still wouldn't have helped me. And he shot me in the back. Great. Fortunately, there is a gun in here. It's only a mini, which is not great. It's not really what I need for this scenario. Could do with an AR, at the very least an ump or something, but... Looks like somebody else is doing a number on that fellow, which explains why he isn't pushing me, which is what I was wondering. So we'll close the door, and he can't see me, and hopefully I'll get a bit of warning if he does come for me. There we go, there's an energy drink, and a red dot, that's good. At least we can hopefully hit our target, and get some heals off. Oh, that's two guys in the area dead. No, I'm not quite sure who's killed who, because I only saw two landing. It turns out this third fellow was coming from outside. Apparently satisfied with his 2 kills, he's cleared off. Which actually works out well for me, because I've not got very much health, and now I've got the entire Gatka to loot to myself. And there we go, we've got a mini and an Uzi now, which is, yeah. Still very long way from a strong start. Got a few heals. Also managed to find a 2x scope up here, which is still not great, but take what we can get. And a level 2 helmet in the next building. Picked up a couple of attachments as well, because I'm desperate for an AR at this stage. No intention of keeping that Uzi. But as it's the best I've got for now. To be fair, it is fully tricked out, so... I've headed off south, which is actually away from the main play zone. It's slightly further to the north of Gatka. But as everybody else has headed north, and I've not got much, I thought I'll head south and hopefully be able to gear up a little bit more. Preferably without getting shot at. As much fun as it is to take fights, it's a lot less fun when you've got limited means of defending yourself. So we're going to push on back towards the north now. See also Gatka over there. This place is clearly looted already, which is not ideal. However, first from a look in, what have we here? AK. So ditch that Uzi, and finally things are looking up a little bit. A couple of those attachments I've picked up in the last 2 places are suddenly looking useful. So we'll get the red dot on the AK, get the 2x on the mini. And now we're in a much better position than we were. And better yet, somebody even left a vehicle here. I'm not quite sure whether that was a natural spawn or not. Looking at that, it may well have been, actually. So now, we can push on to a building in the middle of the play zone. These two, namely. As it's a good option for forting up until we can see what's next. Fortunately, I got stuck on the door there. So despite it being a 1.0... Just going to clear the building, check for any useful loot, and close the doors behind me here, just so I can hear anybody sneaking up on me. Yeah, despite the fact that it's now in 1.0, and there's a lot of changes been implemented, particularly in the last sort of month, 6 weeks or so, there are still some fairly big issues. Bluehole are working very, very hard to work on the lag issues and the server issues, but they're still there. Still random glitches. I get snagged on the door there. But on the whole, the game is playing much more smoothly than it was even when I started, so those who've been here even longer must be particularly well aware of the improvement. And they've changed things like the ballistics, so hit registers are a lot more detailed now. So there's a difference between hitting, like the chest isn't just one area, the stomach and then the upper chest are separate, and changed how the helmets now protect your neck, which doesn't make a great deal of sense when your helmet looks like that, but anyway. So, we are forting up here, and keeping an eye out for any, well, keeping an eye on that little bit of combat going on, making sure it's not about to spill over and be a threat to me, which it isn't. They're over the hill. Can't see anything, unfortunately. Apparently they don't seem to be able to hit each other either, not that I knew that at the time. So keep checking the circle around us. Make sure there's nobody sneaking up on us, or any opportunities for a kill we might spot. But clearly we can't actually see anything. So keep moving from window to window. Check what's going on around us. Nobody's sneaking up. This is looking into the play zone here, sort of towards the centre of the circle, so unlikely anybody's going to be coming towards us from that direction, but they might run past, so you never know, might get a few pot shots off. But we have a new play zone, and fortunately we're still in it, just right on the south edge here, so we're going to push on slightly northeast, yeah, and grab a compound up here. Fort up again. Here we go. This is the one just north of Gatka. Make a nice little entrance there. Looted already, not surprisingly. Quite a popular place to go. What is surprising is there's nobody waiting for me here. That did surprise me a lot. But fortunately, I moved early and I got here first. I should have closed those doors behind me, just to be on the safe side, but for some reason I did not. Particularly given, hello, somebody else has got the same idea. There we go. So I was hoping here that this fellow's going to stop, jump out, and then I can just rain down bullets on him from a window. But he seems to be keeping on the move and checking out the compound, because obviously he's clocked the open doors. Figures somebody might be here. Still looking around. And he's stopped. As you can see from the mini-map, he's hopped out and he's running around on the other side of the building. At this stage I'm thinking, well, he's going to go into this building, do the same thing I'm doing, and with any luck, he hasn't seen me, and when he runs past the window, I can get some shots off on him. Excuse me. Unfortunately, however, he never makes an appearance. I'm going to run over the back windows and just check my back there. And then head back over and watch the guy. As I say, as it turns out, as you can see from the minimap, he never actually went into the building. It's just happened to be in the right line to look like he was on the upper floor. Possibly the ground floor, but it's kind of hard to tell, but either way. It's expectations for you. I should say, you can see if you look through that window in particular here, I've got the graphics settings up reasonably high, which is pretty cool because along with 1.0 the game's now running much more smoothly overall, and you can have the graphics settings much higher, still keep your FPS rate at a good level, and get a full advantage of the good looks of the game as well, which is really cool. So, whilst this plane's gone over, I've heard this fellow getting into a gunfight, or at least I think he is. And upon the replay, it seems that maybe he wasn't, but he's jumped back into his vehicle and cleared off, which is causing me to take a look at the minimap and realise the play zone's changed again, and now I'm well outside it. So we're going to head for a vehicle and make our way to a new building somewhere in the centre of the play zone again. There was a practical playstyle, there's one used that It's used by players far, far better than me, I should say. But even so, it's a good approach to take. As you can see, it's carried me into the top 20 already. Sadly, I've not actually run into anybody directly yet, but that's all about to change because the play zone's getting very small now. So we'll make a dramatic entrance, hop out, and head for this building. As always, clearing the building, making sure nobody's hiding out. Head upstairs. Nobody on the landing, good. Anybody in here? Nope. Nice and clear, and we'll check the roof carefully in a moment. As soon as the play zone's getting small, and people are liable to start shooting at me if they see me. Fortunately, nobody up here, and nobody's even spotted me either. Nice and quick. So, we can take a moment to take stock, and we'll start seeing if we can spot anybody to shoot at, or if anybody's coming our way. I heard a lot of things said about whether or not the game's ready for really being a 1.0 release. Obviously, Bluehole, PUBg Corp, whatever you happen to want to call them these days, are intending to keep patching the game. In fact, they have done since 1.0, which was just before Christmas. To be fair, I had actually intended to put a video out on it at that time, but one thing and another, it didn't end up being practical. So we're just looking at to see if there's anybody we can take shots at. There we go, there's an example of a replay messing around. So at no stage did I stare at my feet. Just replay is pointing my gun at the floor for some weird reason. Now I know there are people out here, you can see them anyway, but I've heard them as well. And a few more over that way, somebody in the hospital apparently. So, play zone's about to change again. And there we go. Now everybody's making a rush for this area. Fortunately, we're still in, so we've got quite lucky with the play zones this time. Which helps to offset the poor loot in the early game. And hello, somebody's come to visit. So he's just come running straight in, straight up the stairs. Doesn't clear any of the corners. And he's dead. You see what I mean by a few issues with replay? That window should have gone ages ago, and I didn't stare at the floor either. And, yeah, okay, judging by the damage on the wall, maybe I did potato that guy fairly hard, but there's some major lag going on there. Anyway, we can hear footsteps, and whoever that is in the hospital would appear to be shooting at that guy. Apparently so is somebody else. Not that I knew any of this at the time. This is entirely beneficial of replay features. So we'll grab a few of this guy's bits and pieces, stock up. Particularly in need of boosts at this stage, so keep our ears open, because I'm still thinking at this point this guy's going to push for the building, but I'm guessing he's probably heard me killing somebody. I assume he must have heard the gunfight, because he's not coming in here. On the other hand, we've got another gunfight kicking off over this direction. Which I think will be the demise of our friend from the previous compound. Yep, there we go. And there we go, there's the fella. Got a few shots off on him. Slight delay on the window break again. And that'll be that fella getting killed by somebody else, much to my irritation, which I hadn't actually noticed at the time, so I spent far too long wondering why this guy's not peeking me again. Well, unfortunately, he did. So, we have a gunfight going on just over here. So we can make a mess out of whoever's won that one, presumably not at full health, as we can actually see. Took me a while to spot the guy, but there he is, looting his victim. There we go. Would have been a lot easier with a 4X, but yeah. There we go. So, the circle is now on the edge of changing again. We've got a minute left. So I'm going to keep checking the perimeter. Make sure nobody's closing in on us. Made a lot of noise recently, so there's a fair chance some of these people know exactly where I am. However, nobody seems to be pushing me. So we're going to boost up. The new circle is very soon to start closing. So we'll check out, see if anybody's waiting for me. Make sure I'm not going to get shot in the back as I run for the circle. Especially as there are no buildings in now. Or at least just the corner of one anyway. So, the coast looking fairly clear now. Got a fella over in the distance there, but I can't see him. At this stage I'm seeing absolutely nothing. And I'm deeply mistrustful of it, I might add, as well. Nobody's shooting at me either, which is somewhat surprising given that I've been making so much noise. Well, circle is now closing, and it's time to go. Fortunately, nobody waiting for me down here either. Could have been nasty. So we're going to make a run for it. And oh, wait. There's a dude on the hill, because I've just seen him get up in front of me. So out with the mini, because it's still quite a long shot. Got to be about 100 yards or so. Got him. Should have been a little bit calmer and made sure the first shot was a headshot, but I haven't spent that much time in the top 5, so still a little jumpy there. Still, we got the job done. Unfortunately, it's given away our position to anybody and everybody who's still alive. There's 3 other guys know exactly where I am. Didn't spot that fella lying in the grass at all. To be honest, I'm not sure why he didn't take shots at me. I'm thinking he's probably just going to hide out in the grass until it becomes a 1v1 and then try and pull a sneaky one on the other person. But he's not taking fights at this stage, which is... I kind of hope he didn't win. So, into cover, boost up a bit more. Still haven't seen that guy. In fact, didn't see him at any stage, to be fair. But I see that guy, and I've picked an 8x up off the last one, so... Not quite sure why he decided to prone there. Probably thinking the same thing as the other guy. Unfortunately, I potatoed. And this is possibly the biggest mistake I made. Well, it is the biggest mistake I made in all of this game. Because it got me killed by the guy I was initially shooting at. Because I wasn't looking at him, and I was too busy trying to get a kill on somebody else. There we go. On the other hand, some quite good plays, and a lot of fun had there. You can see the game's running a lot more smoothly, and it's doing so at a lot higher set of settings. So the graphics and everything, the frame rates are all a lot more solid than they were. 1.0 is looking pretty promising. So the game's recently passed its 3 million concurrent player mark as well, which is pretty amazing for the stage the game's at. And in also amazing and somewhat more depressing style, the game has now also passed 1.5 million players banned for cheating as well, which is a mixed blessing if ever there was one. Since that's 1.5 million people cheating who aren't in the game anymore, it's also kind of depressing that many people have been banned. Still, such is life. And yeah, all in all, it's looking good. I'm going to enjoy playing this some more in my own time. It might make the occasional reappearance, as I say, but I think for now, for the most part, it's going to take a hiatus from the channel, and we'll focus on some other things. Hopefully move things on a little bit. So I do hope you enjoyed that. I know I've been having a lot of fun with it. For now, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, I'm sure you know what to do. Social media links, as always, are down in the description. I will be speaking to you all very, very soon. Thank you very much.